last day with the Fiat. I'm actually late. I've managed to cock up the times of my flight, and it's only going to give me about an hour to get on the plane. So I think I'm going to miss the plane, because I've still got to drop the hire car back and fart around with that. And I've got to see if they want to charge me for the alloy wheel that I curbed on the first day. Anyway, how has the Fiat Panda been? Honestly, I love this little thing. It's fantastic. The thing is, it's a super mini that you can park easily, because it's got great visibility, because it's basically square, yet you can throw it around on mountain roads. And yet now here I am on the motorway doing some speed, and it's not being buffeted. It doesn't feel like I'm driving a small car that's going to fall over. It doesn't feel unsafe. It doesn't feel particularly underpowered, although that being said, but I suppose if you're on the motorway and you feel like your Panda is underpowered, then you're going too fast. There's definitely that. Would I have one? Well, obviously you know that the answer is no, because they're too new. But if I was going to be, there's a lot of wind noise. But again, that's because it's quite a square car. Like, you can hear a lot of wind noise on this video. I haven't really got the blowers on at all. I just switched them down to 0, but they were at my feet anyway. Everything's easy to use. Everything's laid out nicely. I don't like the driving position though. You sit far too high in the car. I feel like they've gone for an SUV driving position. I need to be a couple of inches lower, and I need adjustment on the seat. There's no adjustment up and down on the seat. And despite all of my driving in the mountain roads and moaning about the traction control, I found the button for it. It was in front of the gear stick, so you can turn the traction control off. So I'm going to have to come back and rent another one, aren't I? Try all those roads without the traction control. So in the 5 days that I've been here, I don't actually know how many miles I've driven, but it has averaged 5.5 litres per 100 kilometres. I've got no idea what that is in miles per gallon, so I'll put that figure up there, and then you can tell me if you think that's good or not. I think that's pretty good, considering like I've been driving the wheels off it everywhere I've been, and that's still the average, so can't really complain about that. Overall, I've really enjoyed my Fiat Panda. I'm going to miss it. I'm looking forward to getting back home and driving a Volvo. Right, coming up next on the channel, Jeff misses his flight and has to make alternate travel plans. I mean, that was always going to happen, wasn't it? I don't quite know how I've managed it. I've somehow managed to misjudge the times by about 45 minutes. I don't know what I was doing for 45 minutes, but the thing is, if I do miss the flight, it's not the end of the world, because there'll always be another plane. The only thing that worries me is my parking at Birmingham Airport, where I've left that Volvo V70, because you know that rip-off Britain is going to end up charging me like a ridiculous amount of money because I overstayed my parking at an airport. I mean, to summarise my trip, what it's done is it's made me reflect on what Britain is and what Britain's got, and what it's got is nothing, and what it is a rip-off. I had 3 days out. If you're still watching this video, I had a day out where I went to 3 different things. I went to some waterfalls, I went to a castle, and I went to a motorbike museum. In the UK, the waterfalls would have been some sort of National Trust property, and it would have been 23, 24 quid to get in. And then the motorbike museum would have been like privately owned, that would have been 14 quid. And the castle probably would have been English heritage, so that would have been another 14 quid. So that means in the UK, that would have cost me getting on for 50, 60 pounds. And yet here in Spain, each one of them was just €4 on the door. €4. I couldn't believe it. The waterfall and the pools that I did swim in, there's a video coming up on that. Probably one of the best places I've visited around the world. I went when it was quiet. I've been told that it gets a lot busier, but it was phenomenally beautiful, and it was a lovely day, and it was a nice walk, and it was well landscaped, and it was well laid out, and it was cheap. Then I had a fantastic little lunch, which again cost me no money. And then yesterday, I spent 3 or 4 hours at a little cafe with someone that I'd met, and 3 hours, 4 hours of drinking coffee, drinking sparkling water, having a couple of sandwiches. We must have had 3 or 4 coffees each. Then we both had a sandwich. There was definitely at least 2 sparkling waters. And the bill was €16. It's like €16. That's ridiculous. If I have a coffee and a sausage roll in Malvern at the Morgan factory, I don't think I get any change from about 12 quid. So in Britain we're being ripped off and we don't have the weather. You're probably all watching this being like, Jeff, we know this. What can we do about it? Leave. I know that's got a bit more difficult after Brexit, but I kind of feel like that's the only thing you can do. Yes, Spain has its problems. Yes, politically and World Economic Forumally, there's still a lot of stuff going on. But I'd just rather be under the sun. So, who knows what's coming next? Tell you what's probably not coming next though, an aeroplane. Right, thank you very much for watching this little general update video. I've got quite a bit of footage to work my way through. Had a great session with Richard from Challenge the Road yesterday morning. We made 3 good videos, 2 of which are really funny because he talks about his experience with a big black cat, and his story's way better than me following a dog in a field. And then there's also, he's got a funny story about a dragon, which again, I didn't see that one coming from Rich, but he's a good storyteller. And then we've got a serious one, which is what's going on with Jaguar Land Rover F-Pace steering racks, which is another ridiculous story. And then an update on what's going on with Range Rover theft and Range Rover values and Range Rover depreciation. So that's a little summary of what's coming up on the channel. Lots of travel videos coming up. Full video of the motorcycle museum, because that's really good. Full video of the waterfall, and then there'll be like a general summary of my trip, because I've been filming little clips everywhere I've been. So I'm not going to put together a full travel video, but I'll edit together a montage. But whilst I've been out here, I have been thinking, do you know what? I just need to launch a travel channel and just do this full time. This is way more fun than ranting about newspapers. But apparently ranting about newspapers gets more views. So that's my speciality, isn't it? Sitting in a car and ranting about things. So back to England, where it's much more conducive to ranting and being angry. Thank you very much for watching.